Alright guys, that's Kremp again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. One of the big pieces of drama last week was exactly how Scrappy managed to crash into the wall at seemingly reasonable speed, his M3 and completely total it as far as he's concerned, and all the airbags went off and he somehow bloodied his nose as well. Turns out Scrap was spotted by some other individuals around Texas that maybe refute Scrappy's story to some extent as to exactly how he ended up here in the wall. Caught in 4K from multiple angles. I don't know how they managed to get all the angles of this and the fact that they've taken a few days to come to light. Plenty of other drama to discuss on the day though as well. Very much into your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate a nice little 1 versus 2 here against Dashy and aBeZy that Scrap manages to pull off on Skyline over the other day. I do wonder if we're ever going to see the map set change, right? Because Skyline Surge, I don't mind it. Like, to play and to watch, I think it's okay, but it's probably not as good as it could be. Of course, there was talk that we might get Fringe, or we might get Yemen, or some other map might come back from back in the day. You guys know that I would love to see Strongholds from Black Ops 3 back in the game. I'd absolutely love to see that one remastered or brought back in some capacity, but it doesn't seem like right now that's especially likely. There were some rumours about it, but it doesn't really seem like that's happening anymore. There was some discussion as to whether some of the DLCs they had planned aren't happening anymore. There's also the understanding, as far as I'm aware, that next year in the Call of Duty game that we have then, Black Ops 2.5 or whatever they're going to call it, it probably will be a load of the BO2 maps remastered. So they're probably not going to bring them back yet, is the conclusion. But, you know, Arsenal, Frequency, Gridlock, Seaside, like, you know, there should be no issue, surely, bringing back some of the maps from Black Ops 4. We already got one in Hacienda and everyone loves it within reason. So intrigued to your thoughts on that in the comments. Incredible shout out to Sib, I'm not going to lie. This to me isn't much of a surprise, but the surprise was that he started the season so badly, right? Like, we know how talented Sib is. I know that people have seen this card and said, OpTic gotta pick up the phone. I'm like, oh my god, like surely you can't be serious right now. Look, would it be a good idea to have Sib at this particular moment? Sure, but is that really the way to go? And also, would that ever happen in a million years where Cloud9 be like, oh yes, Soundtex, you can have Sib, looking like our best player as of late. The surprise though was that Sib came out the gates on this game with a 0.7, like he literally was down there with King of Body and the boys with a 0.72. And I don't really know how that happened, but it was always going to turn around. And going into the major, they were not looking good, of course. And Sib played pretty well at the major. But my feeling was going into it that no matter what Sib did, there was 0% chance that he was getting dropped. Because Sib and Accuracy, you know, obviously they played together before. Accuracy is the head coach, effectively on some level the decision maker. They kind of bomb out of the tournament, didn't play that well. To me, Attach was the man at risk, but obviously they've stuck with it, and he's playing much better himself as well, which is great to see the entire team stepping up. But Sib has probably been the catalyst for it in some respects. He actually currently holds the highest hardpoint KD in the league for his role, and he's purple in control kills per 10 and damage per 10. Search and Destroy not spectacular, but still pretty good. And, you know, so far, the first couple of weekends, Sib is sitting at a 92 overall rated card. So, you know, how times change. But we know that if this team is going to be similar to what Seattle Surge was back in the day, when Accuracy was there, of course, that team of Accuracy, Pred, Sib and Mack, that was pretty famous. They had, as OpTic do, to be fair today, an incredibly high ceiling and a very low floor. They could win events. They did with that roster, but they could also come top 12. They did with that roster, right? So that was what was fascinating with that team. And I do wonder whether Cloud9 could be something similar, where the upside is very high, with Kremp, Mack, Attach and Sib. But, you know, I feel like with this team, a slump is possible, for sure. And, of course, Accuracy is still in the system to some degree. So it's not that dissimilar to what Seattle Surge used to be, is the point that I'm making. So, you know, Sib started real slow. Now he's cooking. Is it going to last forever? These are, I think, valid questions. There was also a bit of drama on this clip here. So I'll share Scrappy's reaction here to this in a second. But this is round 11 in a big moment, unfortunately. And I think HyDra had $1,000 on the line here for this map. Now, Shotzzy and the guys are up 4-2 in the round 11. Shotzzy here has a free kill. He's chasing this guy down. And instead of shooting him, he decides to go for the hostage. He wants to eliminate him. He wants to stab him in the back. And unfortunately, Shotzzy gets cooked as a result of this. Dies. leaves his team in a 2 versus 2, realizes on the comms that, hang on a second, he may have messed up big time here and cost his teammate and his boy HyDra $1,000 as a result. And ends in a 1 versus 1 here. If Shotzzy just got that kill, no doubt this would have been game over. But yeah, Shotzzy went for the play. This guy gets guns. That was bad. That was Drazah there gunning Hyde down. Hyde, though, pretty talented player. Like, he's, I think, under 18 kid, but he's shown some promise playing a lot of 8s that he kind of been cooking. So maybe a talent for the future over there. But yeah, Scrappy was talking about it. TikToksy, right? This is how people used to describe it. And maybe TikToksy's making a bit of a comeback. Look, people are going to criticize it, right? Because, okay, it's an 8 series, you know, it is what it is, right? They're playing for money, though, at the end of the day. HyDra had some serious money on this result, and it didn't go his way, unfortunately. But people are going to say, oh, Shotzzy turned the stream off, right? Like, stop going for clips and all this. And I get it, right? I do get it. Is that the thing holding OpTic back? No. Is it part of the problem? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a small part.
Hard by my 5-0 for you guys.
You're close above me. He's pool, 100%.
Okay.
Got one.
Nice.
Yeah.
One shot.
Not a problem, I think. I think I just saw him at a
Yeah,
problem.
he's cool, full. I'm trying to
Ender, give me up, okay?
I was well.
Help
yeah,
him, Ender, help him.
One shot on the head.
What shot? Bro, wow.
What the fuck is he doing?
Like this, bro, we're good.
Not even trolling.
Dead. One more gonna be over here.
On me, one shot. He's one shot. Take your time.
Yeah, I wanted to take him hostage. I swear to God. I swear to God, chat, I wanted to take him hostage. I think I just costed us. And I did.
You got it?
Oh my god, it just costed.
Man.
It just costed. Oh my god. TikToksy gets costed. Oh, TikToksy cost. Oh no.
It's just hard, we're good. I didn't check last time, so I thought he was just insta-hop.
Oh, that actually wasn't a battery, to be honest.
But not all sunshine and rainbows by any means here for Scrap. So you guys might remember this the other day, on the 19th of February, this was all the rage, when Scrap revealed that he'd crashed his car. This is his M3, in the wall, the top of a parking lot, parking garage, whatever the Americans like to say. And here he is, of course, now. So he's there in Texas, and at the time where this was happening, it was pretty icy, right? So the conditions weren't great. People said, oh, why did he not bring along his tyres from Toronto? Because presumably when he was Toronto in the winter, if he had his car there, he probably had some winter tyres, something with some spikes on. But, you know, whatever, understandable. Maybe you're not expecting Texas to be ice cold, but it can be in the winter. Certainly in recent years, there have been some interesting weather events in Texas, shall we say. You guys probably remember a few years ago, and I think it was the Cold War season, when the entire league had to be cancelled for a weekend because the players couldn't play as there was flooding through the ceiling. I think Mack had to go to Sib's house, maybe the other way around. I think Attach had all those guys over to his house because there was like water coming through the ceiling, or the power was down, and they did the Super Week, if you guys remember, when they had literally 7 days in a row of Call of Duty matches. But yeah, so this was Scrap's M3 in the wall, and this of course was him and Shane afterwards, and Scrap looking pretty bloodied up. He was talking about how he was going 10 miles an hour, it was icy, he lost it, he went into the wall, and the airbags all went off, and that's of course what bloodied him up. Now look, at the end of the day, people probably saw this and thought, alright, is Scrappy fully telling the truth here? Was he trying to drift it on the ice? That was at least my thoughts, because, you know, the conditions are obviously kind of icy. Was Scrap trying to, you know, have a bit of fun here? The answer to me was probably, and he was talking about going in at 10 miles an hour. And sure, this kind of damage might align with hitting the wall at 10 miles an hour, especially when you've got no brakes if you're sliding on the ice, but it's plausible that he was going faster than 10 miles an hour before he then realised that he was out of control, slammed the brakes and ended up in the wall. So thankfully Scrap's okay, so we can, you know, laugh about this to some degree. Obviously the car unfortunately isn't. But it got funny yesterday because this guy, Modest Mendez, came out with a YouTube video and he was talking about how he'd seen this guy, his like neighbour, crash his BMW. Was talking about how much of a clown he was and coming up at 30 miles an hour and all he was saying. And, you know, his perspective is that he was trying to drift it on the ice. And, well, it turned out, of course, this was Scrap's car.
As respectful as I can be. Oh, I don't think you guys must have seen that. This is insane. So, a couple days ago, this guy right here. I don't know what's up with these people with these M cars. I got rid of my M car before I crashed it. 2023 M3 X-Drive competition. Bro's driving up that, I don't know if you guys can see it, but up the ramp 30 miles per hour while there's ice on the floor, and in my opinion, I think he was trying to drift it around this corner. That's just my opinion. He says he wasn't. And maxed the fucking wall. Look at that. So tragic. The guy actually walked by me the other day, and half his face was red. Tragic. Look at that. That's so tragic, bro. The other day, Troy was gonna park right next to him, but I was like, bro, do not be a dickhead.
Yeah. Gang is cooked. What the fuck?
And then to make it even better, right, we somehow have this POV of the incident where you guys can see what unfolded at the time. This is clearly Shay, this is clearly Scrap here, and you couldn't tell, I'm sure you guys noticed when I played the clip for you, how icy it is, because as Scrap's walking around the car here, like, you can see that he's already slipping a little bit right there, and then he almost, he almost slam dunks it on himself at this point as well. Obviously, he takes a couple of pictures of it, and interesting to think about the fact that the car is, like, still there, right? Like, I guess they haven't been able to move it yet. So, yeah, I don't know. I just thought this is very entertaining, really. I'm glad Scrap's okay. And I imagine that probably from both sides, things have been somewhat exaggerated. Like, was he really going up the ramp at 30 miles an hour? Like, that seems a bit ambitious. But was Scrap only going 10 like he said? You know, maybe it was somewhere in between. I think that's probably how these things are. But I just thought it was funny, right, that Scrap obviously, he came out and said, oh yeah, no, I crashed it, and here was the reaction, the feedback and all this, and maybe I'll just get the M5 next and everything. And then, and I'm sure, like, Scrap's going to learn his lesson from this at the end of the day. But the fact that he got caught in 4K from multiple angles, one of his neighbours or whoever noticed it and mentioned it, and then this guy from the top row was getting the angles of the moment. You can see Scrap and Shay wandering around. I thought it was very entertaining. But obviously, it's only funny that both of these guys are okay, which thankfully they are. And yeah, obviously Scrap's going to care about it. But at the end of the day, he's still winning matches, still making some money back, and maybe is going to be in a position to pick up the M5 soon enough. But very much interested in your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.
I have the cross. Crossing, Joe dead. Nice! 65! So you have 60 for the outgo! Joe! Joe! What are you doing, Joe? That's a dog.